shelter saved the giant wolf dog, then the DNA test showed something unexpected. In the late 2000s, a family was eagerly searching for a new four-legged furry friend to welcome into their home. Little did they know they would end up with something entirely unexpected instead. The family met with a breeder who claimed to have the ideal husky puppy for the family. The family fell in love with the adorable little pup and decided to take him home and call him Yuki. However, as time passed, concerns about the dog's appearance began to arise. Large canines typically reach adult size at roughly 18 months of age, but Yuki was already larger than the average dog at the age of less than a year. In addition to his size, the dog also began exhibiting features that were not typical of dogs. He started to act a little more aggressively, especially when it came to eating, and he was getting tougher to control because he would disobey orders. They were the wrong people for Yuki. When he was just 8 months old, his family discovered they couldn't take care of him anymore and gave him up to a shelter. Unfortunately, even though it was a euthanizing shelter, Yuki had a very high chance of being put down because of how wolf-like he was. However, something unexpected happened because of how much like a wolf the dog looked. One of the shelter's staff members decided to get in touch with the Shy Wolf Sanctuary to see if they could determine whether Yuki would be accepted. The sanctuary was founded in 1994 by Nancy Smith, and it has a mission to heal hearts and minds through rescue, refuge, and education. It could host anywhere from 20 to 100 wolves and wolf dogs at a time. According to Brittany Allen, a senior volunteer at the Shy Wolf Refuge, Yuki was acquired in some way as a puppy, and it was quickly discovered that he behaves more like a wolf than a dog. However, before Yuki could be accepted into the sanctuary, the volunteers first had to determine how much wolf was in him. To do this, they took a blood sample so they could check his DNA, but the results showed something very unexpected. Yuki was a canine hybrid of 3 different breeds. He was 3.9% German Shepherd, 8.6% Siberian Husky, and a whopping 87.5% Grey Wolf. Yuki was welcomed into the refuge right away. Shy Wolf Sanctuary is an exotic animal sanctuary where we primarily rescue animals that were bred to be pets but ended up abandoned for a variety of reasons. He had a very gregarious demeanor and was in relatively good health. Yuki was quite protective of his food because they very much simply annihilate stuff. Brittany Allen explained that in order to feed the animals, they make sure to keep the wolf dogs back when putting food in their enclosure or offer them treats through the fence. Things quickly changed when a terrible incident after he arrived at the Shy Wolf Sanctuary. Yuki injured his leg on a palmetto and caused a wound on his right rear knee that required 5 surgeries to repair. During this time, Yuki developed cage aggression. One of the sanctuary's directors explained that because the dog's injury was so severe, volunteers had to keep him in a cage after his surgeries to prevent him from reopening the wound. Yuki grew to be quite particular about who would take care of him. Yuki isn't inherently more sociable than pure wolves. Pure wolves, who are often quiet and curious animals, will flee when they meet new humans. Yuki, on the other hand, will run right to a new person and, if he doesn't like them, he will become hostile towards them. Brittany Allen, who claimed that after his surgeries he slowly but surely kicked out all of the men so that he was left with an all-female volunteer group. I saw him actually eject the man from his confinement. The tiny number of ladies who took care of Yuki were known as his harem, and although he was more receptive and trusting of women, he quickly made friends with Bella, a female wolf dog who was actually more dominant than him. The two appeared to get along well and were often seen together, whether they were playing, eating, or just lounging nearby. At the sanctuary, people grew to love Yuki, and they weren't the only ones. In an effort to raise awareness about these extraordinary animals and how special they are, we share their adorable moments in the hopes that doing so will at the very least enable people to relate to them and, through education, transform their initial fear into a healthy respect, as well as provide an opportunity for an animal to live a decent life. After a post was shared widely on social media in 2012 and quickly went viral, people were able to learn more about the sanctuary and its mission. This was also aided by one of the most popular TV shows in the world, Game of Thrones. The show contains enormous wolves known as dire wolves, and viewers began to compare Yuki to these beasts. This increased Yuki's fame, which helped the sanctuary by bringing in more visitors.